Now, let's move on. So, today's class is dedicated for discussing questions given on 30th August for the sake of monthly test. This monthly test contains two chapters. One, linear equations in two variable, and another, coordinate geometry. So, coming down to the instructions and number of questions in this question paper, 20 MCQ questions were there, carrying 1 mark each, and no internal choices were provided. Whereas, first question is coordinate of all points on the x-axis is. This is the first question. Children, we discussed most of the examples, most of the working questions even in this chapter, linear equations in two variable. And I even discussed exemplar questions also. We have totally somewhere around 10 questions given from this chapter in this test. Most of the questions I discussed with you. Only the thing is, I might have changed your ordinate of all the points on x-axis. That while discussing, I might have asked about abscissa. So you need to know the concept. Maybe little things, numbers I have changed, except that all questions which I have discussed, they are there. Here, ordinate of x-axis. X-axis equation is y equals to 0. So the moment, if you can recollect this important concept, that is equation of x-axis is y equals to 0, there itself you will get the answer. So ordinate refers y coordinate. Therefore, y coordinate of all the points lie on x-axis is 0. So this is the answer. Any point lying on x-axis will have its y coordinate 0. So A is the right answer. Moving on to the question number 2. If x coordinate of a point is 0, then this point lies on. Now here x coordinate is 0, automatically that point should lie on the y-axis. Based on the just discussed concept, you can understand any point lying on y-axis will have its x coordinate will be 0. So D is the right option. Then moving on to the question number 3. Very
Sir,
important.
in previous question, sir.
Where? Tell me.
Second question.
Yes.
In this, if it always lies on y-axis also can come, sir. In the first quadrant also can come, sir.
Wrong, child. Remember, lying on a circle is different. Lying in the circle is a different. Okay. If any point lies on the circle, it is not belonging to the in or out. A circle divides plane into 3 parts: in, on, out. Interior, exterior, and on the boundary. This is what you learnt in your class 7th or 6th, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Similarly, y-axis also divides plane into 3 parts or 2 parts, you watch it, how many parts? 3 parts or 2 parts? Even y-axis divides the plane into how many parts? Circle is dividing plane into 2 parts, interior and exterior, and another third part, if at all I say, it is on the boundary. Similarly, as this straight line divides plane into 2 parts, one left side, another right side. If I say third, that is on the line itself. Okay, so quadrant, the concept of quadrant comes when you have two perpendicular lines dividing plane into 4 parts. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant, where these axes are dividing. If I have a point lying in first quadrant, it is evidently it is not lying on these 3 parts as well as on those axes. These axes are not included to that part, that quadrant. Okay, so if I have a y-axis having first quadrant included, or first quadrant including y-axis, then even second quadrant also includes that y-axis as per our logic. Correct now? So here
Yes, sir.
remember, we have y-axis or x-axis not being parked there. They are dividing just 4 quadrants. Afterwards, it has got y, y, o, y. We say it's a positive part of y-axis, o, y dash, negative part of y-axis, o, x, positive part of x-axis, o, x dash, negative part of the x-axis. So along with these 4 quadrants, I have got 4 again parts of the axis. But OY and OY dash together is a y-axis. So any point lying on this YY dash, that is y-axis. So it will have its abscissa being 0. That is x coordinate is being 0. Okay, is it clear?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Moving on to the question number 3rd. In this question is very important. I said, why this question is very important? Still some children are making mistakes. See, first of all, how many are there in the meeting? Tell me, Vinayak. How many are
67,
there in
sir.
the 57?
67, sir.
67. You know what is our school? I mean, our ninth B strength. I mean, ninth ABC strength.
97 mostly, sir. 97
Somewhere
average.
around 100. See, these children, 67 are attending class. Okay, let's say they are not doing mistake. Rest 33 are doing mistake. It's a very important question even in class 10th, not only for 9th. See children, this I have discussed, and all these hundreds when they have sent for the evaluation after writing test, in those 33 I can evidently see mistakes because they were not attending classes. They didn't attended the discussions of those questions. MCQ type questions I discussed from the exemplar. This is a very simple question and very important question. The perpendicular distance from a point Q. Here, this Q lies in third quadrant. I have -5 and -7. So somewhere this point lying here. This is Q. Now, if I have point Q here, now what is that they asked? From the x-axis, what is the perpendicular distance dropped? If I drop a perpendicular distance from this point to x-axis, automatically this distance they are asking. This distance you can see here. On the y-axis you are seeing the distance, perpendicular distance. From the point to x-axis, whatever the perpendicular distance, That's 7 units. You are watching it on y axis, where the coordinate of y axis -7. If I watch, that's enough for me. Remember, distance will never be negative. Suppose if they give -5, -7, 5, 7, then you cannot choose -7. Distance is always positive. I reduced your confusion by not giving that negative numbers. It's always distance is positive. So you have to choose 7 units. Without plotting this graph, just by looking at y coordinate, you can say the perpendicular distance from this point Q to the x-axis is that y coordinate, but not just like straight away taking that point coordinate. You have to take absolute value. Absolute value means positive value of it. So 7 units is the right answer. Okay. See here, this question done by some of you mistake is just either not attending class or not understanding the concept. Is this is clear to you all now? You can thumbs up. This is very important question. Good. Good. Nice. Thank you. Now, let's move on to the question number 4. Question number 4. These points are given. And amongst this A, B, C, D, E, and O, thinking that they are plotted on graph, you need to find the points lying on y-axis. So I need not plot them. I just, if I observe any point lying on y-axis will have x coordinate 0. I have to look for that 1, 2, and who else? None. So right option is you have to check for B and O. That is the D. D is the right option. Okay. But when I was discussing with you in the class, I gave this as x-axis and I have an answer CDO. Okay, not the same question I gave. I changed this axis here. Okay, so still some children have written C and D. Okay, that is the one error. Question number 5. Question number 5. Signs of the abscissa and ordinate of a point in the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, x coordinate is negative. Why? Because in the second quadrant, you could see the negative portion of the x-axis. So negative portion of the x-axis you are seeing, which is negative, and you could see positive
You are
portion of
not
the
audible, sir.
y-axis. Vedant, pardon? Vedant Patil, tell me. Tell me, Vedant.
You are not audible. Saying that you are not audible.
Am I not audible?
Sir, it's audible, sir.
You are audible, sir.
Sir, you're audible, sir.
Children, probably you have to watch there the attend signals. To my knowledge, to the others, it is clear. See, here in the second quadrant, you could observe negative part, that is OX dash, and positive part OY. Since we have this way negative part of x-axis, positive part of y-axis, and we write always x coordinate, that is abscissa first. So its nature is negative and ordinate nature is positive. This is the nature of the points lying or signs of the points lying in the second quadrant. So that's how we identify. Then moving on to the question number 6. Question number 6, on plotting the points O, 0, 0, A 3, 0, B 3, 4, C 0, 4, and joining O, A, B, and BC and CO. Which of the following figures are obtained? So if you observe, children, first here, is it necessary to plot this graph? Okay, let's say you have plotted a graph. You are plotting O, A, B, C, where O is 0, 0, that comes here. B, A, B, C, all 3 points. O lies, it's very clear, its origin. A, B, C, since axis and ordinates are positive nature, they lie somewhere in the first quadrant or on X, OX or OY side. 3, 0, ordinate is 0, therefore it lies on X axis. 3, 4 lies in first quadrant. 0, 4, C, axis is 0, so lies on Y axis. And C, 0, 4 after plotting on Y axis. And you watch now. Here, you can see that it is being a rectangle after joining OA, AB, BC, and OC. It's a rectangle. Why it is a rectangle? Because its dimensions are not equal. They are 3 units being one dimension, 4 units being another dimension. And obviously you could observe it's rectangle because the angle amongst this quadrilateral, one angle is 90, and here opposite sides are equal. In a quadrilateral, if one angle is 90 and opposite sides are equal, it is a rectangle. Okay, so amongst the given options, the right one is B. Okay, some children have made as a square and some children, one has given rhombus. It cannot be square because units are not same. Opposite sides are only equal, not all sides are equal. Okay, so you need to watch carefully. They are the coordinates. Here the coordinates are 3, 0, 3, 4, 0, 4. If these coordinates are equal, like 3, 3 and 0, 3, then definitely we would have got a square. Okay, so you need to watch it, visualize it, and answer. Then moving on to the next question. Question number 7. If the coordinates of the 2 points, that is P minus 2, 3 and Q minus 3, 5, then abscissa of P. It's simple. They are asking you to do this operation. So abscissa of P is minus 2 minus abscissa of Q is minus 3. So minus 2 minus of minus, removing bracket, this becomes plus. So minus 2 plus 3, minus 2 plus 3 is plus 1, and right option is B. Okay, so only the thing is you need to know how to identify what is abscissa of P, what is abscissa of Q, and substitute them and do the operation correctly by removing bracket. If you know integers and algebraical operations on integers, it is easy to be done. Okay, then moving on to the question number 8. Question number 8. The point lies on y-axis at a distance of 5 units in the negative direction of y-axis. See children, the point which lies on y-axis in the negative direction. So definitely in Oy dash, and from the at a distance of 5 units, where that distance from the origin it is. So if you come down by 5 units, it is minus 5. So what will be the point lying there? It is first abscissa is 0 because it is a point lying on y-axis. So 0 comma. So automatically these options are gone. Now it's in negative direction, so minus 5 is the ordinate. So 0 comma minus 5 is the right answer. And remember, point compulsory written within parenthesis, within this brackets, parenthesis, with a comma separation. This abscissa and ordinate get separated by that point, sorry, that comma. Okay, compulsory we should write within parenthesis. Okay, some children are writing like this, which is wrong. It may be treated as 0 minus 5. And some children are writing like this. It is again two numbers you are writing, 0 comma minus 5. Okay, so these are not correct way of representations. For a point, coordinates of a point always written within parenthesis, x abscissa, I mean x coordinate or abscissa comma ordinate. Then moving on to the question number 9. Question number 9. The points whose abscissa and whose abscissa and tell me what is that? Whose abscissa
Ordinate.
and ordinate
Ordinate.
have different signs will lie in
Second and fourth quadrants, sir.
second and fourth.
Fourth.
Fourth quadrant, sir.
Okay, why? Because in the first quadrant both are positive and in the third both are negative. Only in second quadrant and in third quadrant we have different signs. Okay, so right option is D, second and fourth quadrant. Then moving on to the question number 10. The point whose ordinate is 4 and which lies on y-axis. So obviously lying on y-axis, so 0 comma ordinate 4. So 0 comma 4 is the right answer. B is the right option. Then moving on to the question number 11. Linear equation. From here, question number 11 onwards, you will have linear equations in two variables. A linear equation in two variables of the form ax plus by plus c equals to 0, where a, b, c are real numbers and this x coordinate, I mean x coefficient should not be 0, b coefficient should not be 0. This is the condition we have. So here right option is A. Okay, so because it's a linear equation in two variables, the two variables should exist. Then moving on to the question number 12. If 2 comma 0 is a solution of the linear equation 2x plus 3y equals to k, then find the value of k, or what is the value of k. See, when 2 comma 0 is a solution of this linear equation, the moment they said that point should satisfy this linear equation on the substitution of those x value and y value. So here 2 of 2 plus 3 of 0 equals to k is going to give you k value. So 2 2s are 4 plus 3 zeros are 0. 4 plus 0 is 4. This is the value of k. So right answer is A. Have you understood this question?
Sir, in
Okay.
11th question, what if they not give y value and x value? We have to put 0, no, sir.
What, Gangadhar?
Yes, sir. In this question, if they not given x value and y value, sir, we have to put 0x and 0y and
No.
do, sir.
No, 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 no. 0x, if you put that x variable itself will go away, na? Then it is not a linear equation in two variable. It becomes linear equation in only y. If you put b also 0, then entire this equation will not have variables at all. Here, variables, are x and y. Variables are x and y. Remember, these are constants. Constants means they will give you like 2x plus 3y equal to 4, that they will give. 2x plus 3y minus 4 equals to 0 is a linear equation into variable where the variables of x and variables x and y will be keep different values. They'll have different values changing. But this 2 is a constant, this 3 is a constant, this minus 4 is a constant, will never change. Here, if they have not given means, how will they look like? They look like, let's say, x minus 7y plus 8 equals to 0. Nothing is given for the variable x means it's a coefficient 1. So coefficient of x is 1, not 0. Are you understanding it, Gangadhar?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's take a rectangle. Rectangle has some length, some breadth. We don't know. What is its perimeter? Its perimeter is 2 times of its length plus 2 times of its breadth. This 2 is a constant. Length can be anything. Why I got 2 times? Because I am adding length for 2 times. So adding L plus L is equals to writing it as 2L. So that's how the 2 multiplicand of L is getting, and it is a constant. So 2 never changes. Only the L value changes. Isn't it? Here you need to understand what is constant and what is variable. Variable will change and it never be one fixed value. Whereas a constant, the moment you fix it, it becomes here A, B, C. Though I am showing in letters, they are not variables, they are constants. Is it clear?
Sir.
Yeah. Now moving on to the here the condition. Those constants where coefficient of x should not be 0. Why? Because if it becomes 0, then it completely misses variable x. 0 into x, this goes off. Then we will have only linear equation in one variable. That's why that a should not be 0. Even b should not be 0. Why? Because it becomes a linear equation in one variable. If both are not zeros, then only it's a linear equation in two variables. Can C be 0? Yes, C can be 0. It can be of the form 3x plus 5y equal to 0, where constant is missing. What happens to this set of lines? What is the difference between this set of line? You know, graphical representation of a linear equation. We will discuss in the subsequent questions. Then Moving on to the question number 12. Any solution of a linear equation lies on the graph of that. So when it is substituted, definitely you will have a solution, means left hand side becomes right hand side value when it is substituted. So we will go for graphical representation. Maybe somewhere I have some questions given. The equation of x equals to 7, it's a linear equation in one variable only. Here x equals to 7 is a linear equation in one variable, but you are forced to write it. You are asked to write it in linear equation in two variables. Then when you wanted it to be written compulsory in linear equation in two variable, you will do it. Okay, how you will do it? It is something like 1 into x plus, now you are taking 0 into y, where
Yes,
coefficient of
now
the variable y is 0, equals to 7. By force, you are, it is something like, okay Baba, we normally put some on school day functions drama, right? Correct? We do some dramas, we do some skits, correct? Are you getting my point?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, now the B comes y comma
Correct,
0, sir,
correct.
now.
That's what I am saying. See, in a drama, there is a requirement of a lady role, let's say. But in our school, we don't have any girls ready to accept and ready to do that. So that girl role, I am forcing a boy to do it. So what I will do? How I will make him to do that? I am making him to do that by dressing him as a girl. He is a boy. I am very sure he is a boy. But I am making him to dress like a girl and making him to do the skit there. Are you getting it? That way, it's a linear equation in one variable. I am very sure. But I am forcing it to write it in linear equation in two variable. Then I am having only this option of writing it. Is it clear now?
Yes. Sir,
Just like
then in
dressing
some
girl is depicting that he is girl acting there. Okay. So that's how this is a linear equation in one variable. If we anyone forces to write it in a linear equation in two variable form, then worst way is written like that y variable bringing and its coefficient becoming 0. That's it, simple. Okay, 1 into x plus 0 into y equals to 7. Okay, right option is B. Then moving on to the question number 14. How many linear equations in x and y can be satisfied by x equal to 1 and y equals to 2? That means I have a point 1 comma 2. How many lines can pass through that point? This is the one sort of graphical way of asking. How many equations in x and y can be having 1 comma 2 as a solutions? Can be satisfied by x equal to 1 and y equals to 2 means how many linear equations I can have having 1 comma 2 as their solutions, means infinitely many. So how I said it is from the concept, from one point of a plane there can be infinitely many lines passing through that. Okay, we can draw infinitely many number of lines passing through a point. So each and every line represents one equation, and that way I will have infinitely many equations. Is this is clear to you? If it is clear, put a thumbs up. This concept, that's good. Good. Nice, Gangadhar. Right. Yeah. Moving on to the next question. Question number 15. The point of the form a comma minus a a comma minus a, you know, two different signs. And obviously here, when it cannot be x equals to a, it cannot be y equals to minus a, and y equals to x, it is not possible, and a added to minus a gives you 0. This is the only right option. Remember, if you take a line passing through origin, okay, will definitely have in its linear equation constant term being 0. So any linear equation passing through origin will have equation of the form ax plus by equals to 0, where y-axis, x-axis, they will have their equations as y equals to 0 and x equals to 0, y-axis and x-axis equations. Okay, so you remember any line passing through origin will have its constant missing 0. This is another important point. 16th question. The graph of the
Sir,
line.
sir, in 15th question, sir,
Amram.
sir, B option y equal to minus a will become, sir.
Then why not x equals to a, sir?
Sir, x equal to will be minus a na, sir.
How? It is a na. X equals to a is given na.
Here it will multiply na, sir, a into
We are not multiplying na. That a is different. This a is different. This a is
yes,
different. And this is a is different. It's a x coordinate is a. Here
yes, sir.
coefficient of x is a. They are two different ones. Okay.
Yes,
If you are
okay,
confused with L comma M, you can keep L
yes,
x
sir.
plus my plus n equals to 0. Lx
Okay,
plus my plus n equals to 0 is also one standard way of representing linear equation in two variables. Yeah. Then question number 16. The graph of the linear equation 2x plus 3y equals to 6 is a line which meets the x-axis at. See, any line meeting x-axis should happen only when y equals to 0. Why? Because a meeting point on x-axis means its y coordinate 0. So any point lying on x-axis will have y coordinate 0. So let's say this line is meeting x-axis at a point where y equals to 0, means if substitution I will do it. So 2x plus 3 times 0 equals to 6. 2x plus 3 times 0 is 0. 2x plus 0 is 2x equals to 6. X equals to 3. So the moment I got x coordinate as 3, so this point is 3 comma 0. Any line meeting x-axis happens only when y coordinate is 0, because that point is going to lie on x-axis. So that concept will make it and use it and find the point. Is this is clear to you, children? Yeah. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 17. The positive solutions of the equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0 always lie in the, so positive solutions, so first quadrant. Okay, they lie in the first quadrant. Moving on to the question number 18. If a linear equation has solutions minus 2 comma 2, 0 comma 0, 2 comma minus 2, so definitely if I keep substituting these points here, I'll get anyway. And by watching these points, I can say here in Cartesian plane, it is passing through origin. That means x constant term is missing, and it is passing through second quadrant and fourth quadrant by watching here 2 comma minus 2 and minus 2 comma 2. I said this is the way this point line is. Its equation is x plus y equals to 0. By substituting also I can identify. Right option is B. And question number 19. The linear equation 3x minus y equals to x minus 1. So solve. First we will simplify this. 3x minus y. This x I am bringing it as left side equals to minus 1. 3x minus x becomes 2x minus y equals to minus 1, or it can be written as 2x minus y plus 1 equals to 0 by taking this minus 1 added to 0. So that 0 is left over, and minus 1 when it is brought here becomes plus 1. So it's a linear equation in two variable, and number of solutions to it will be infinitely many. Any linear equation in two variable will have infinitely many number of solutions. I hope it is clear to you, children. Coming to the last question, question number 20. The ordered pair m comma n satisfies this equation. They already said satisfies. So m comma n to be substituted in the place of x. So a into m plus b into n plus c equals to 0. So it is, since satisfies already they said, so right option is am plus bn plus c equals to 0. Satisfies if condition. So if this is 0, if it is substituted and makes LHS value equals to RHS value, then only we say it is satisfied. So that condition is this. Right option is C. So with this, children, I have discussed all the questions and it's already time up. We'll wind up today's class. So tomorrow onwards, we'll discuss statistics chapter. Prepare yourself. Okay. Come for
Okay, sir.
tomorrow's class. Take care. Bye.